I don't think it's a good reason, but I understand a couple of reasons why I don't approve. But yeah. they're not good ones. So I'd like to say just a quick few things and address one question that was in the live chat that I think bears repeating. What you just said has been my experience of Iranians. I've probably spoken with roughly 50 Iranians in the last 3 or 4 years that I've spoken with, often on Discord. I also have been in religious circles for a while, so on a lot of the religious Discords, you bump into Iranians literally in Iran talking to you at the time. And my experience to a man of Iranians have been that they are a little ticked that Americans don't know their own history in this regard, but they actually kind of have almost a bizarre affection for Americans, considering and my intellectual read of what's been going on in Iran has been that they actually like American culture and that they do like American movies, they like American products. And what is the unbelievable tragedy of this is that what that means is Iran could very easily be an American ally, and that in principle there's a lot that they, the people, like about the U.S. and like about their values, which strikes me as exactly what you just echoed. That's one of the reasons the deal with Iran, the original nuclear deal, was, in my opinion, so good. And, oh, hold on, I got the, there you go. Hold on one second. Whoa! Got the voice thing going over there. That's why that deal was so important, was because the Iranian people really want to overthrow their government. They want to be independent. And if you're in the American government, they want to be independent but more westernized, which is what you want. That was the great tragedy of the U.S. reneging on the deal, which is what the U.S. did. We had to certify yearly that Iran was keeping up their obligations, and for some reason Trump decided to read that as, well, we can just not certify that, even though that's a lie. They were keeping up with their obligations. So we decertified, so we got out of the deal sort of technically accurately in the way we could, but it was based on lies, what we knew were lies, and solely for whatever Trump's idiotic, moronic reasons were. But not only did we lose an opportunity, but we betrayed a people that have always been very kind to me, despite my awareness, or despite what actually happened in the U.S., and based very much on my understanding has been what you just said, which was, you know what, that was a long time ago, and they have bigger fish to fry right now, and they're also aware that that's not the American that they're talking to right now, which is a level of maturity about issues that many Americans don't have. But to address something Ali said, which dovetails with this, where Ali said, quote, "I feel guilty as an American that Iran is in this situation." I do too sometimes, and that may be also why I sort of advertise it when I get a chance, but it's also because I think understanding is important. But ultimately, I would hope Alex would agree with me, and this is my view, don't have any guilt. Don't have any guilt whatsoever, no guilt whatsoever. The only guilt lies in not being aware that this is why, because I've been asked, why do Iranians hate us so much? Well, you know, when they're burning American flags, let's take a look, because it's not because they're completely unreasonable religious zealots. That is true of their government, absolutely true of the government, not true of them. And in context, you can realize that, again, the Iranians I've met, and I've met one or two also just in person that have just literally almost right off the plane, and fond of Americans and American culture in general in a much broader context, which is difficult for everybody. The shame America suffers isn't what we've done in our past, and the reason is because every fucking country has a bad past. Every country has committed war crimes. Any country that's been around for any length of time has done shit they're not proud of. The shame is in not acknowledging it, owning it, and finding a way to go forward. And the problem is, the reason, especially the, quote, as Alex was saying, rednecks, and the reason so many people in this country refuse to talk about our mistakes is because they think it makes us a lesser country. It does not. It makes us a better country to acknowledge it and not to allow it in the future. And because this is a democracy of the people, for the people, and by the people, if we don't do that, we are responsible for what this country does right now because it is our government. We don't have the luxury of saying we're ruled by a totalitarian government and we're not responsible for what they do. We do not have that luxury. So have no shame about our past. Have shame about us not being willing to own it and try to help. That's the only shame. End of speech.